Report.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, welcome. And today, President Trump is expected to issue that executive order he announced he would at CPAC a few weeks back, directing federal agencies to tie research and education grants made to colleges and universities to First Amendment freedoms on college campus. The order, according to Wall Street Journal reporting, instructs agencies including Department of Education, HHS, and Defense to ensure that public educational institutions, taxpayer-funded, comply with First Amendment strictures and that private institutions live up to their own stated free speech standards.
Oh, so we can have conservative clubs now at different college campuses.
Well, they're there. They're just, not allowed to
living
express
in the
themselves.
shadows.
Well, and it's not just the students. How about the professors? Dateline Sarah Lawrence College, this running saga involving Sarah Lawrence, that's the alma mater of One Tiny Dancer.
Yes, we know.
What kind of guy
our
goes
favorite.
to Sarah Lawrence? Don't know. Sam Abrams is his name, college professor there. He wrote the essay we discussed on this show back when it was published about administrators, the ideological bent of administrators. Liberal staff members outnumber their conservative counterparts by 12 to 1 in higher education. Actually, it's the administrators, the bureaucrats that are the most left-leaning group on campus, even more so than the professorate. And that, of course, sparked outrage on the campus of Sarah Lawrence. All the ballerinas got their tutus in a bunch and demanded a reckoning with Professor Abrams, or for Professor Abrams. A group of student protesters calling themselves the Diaspora Coalition labeled Abrams a racist misogynist, demanded that he be placed on 10-year review. He writes at The Spectator, when a student mob came for my job, my college did not support me.
Oh.
Abrams writing, as a direct assault on academic freedom and free speech, the demand by the Diaspora Coalition should have sent shivers down the spines of all my colleagues at Sarah Lawrence and compelled an immediate and strong faculty response. Didn't happen. There was a faculty committee that attempted to draft a declaration supporting the right of academic freedom for faculty on campus. Eventually watered down, weak message. Only 27 members of the faculty even could muster the courage to sign that. That's 7% of the total faculty at Sarah Lawrence. Proclamation of in defense of academic freedom, freedom of speech, and mutual respect, too controversial to be signed by the overwhelming majority of Sarah Lawrence faculty. Oh, and by the way, contrast that with these demands the Diaspora Coalition have lodged to the administration, signed by 40 professors, 12%, twice as many almost as signed the freedom of speech, academic freedom declaration, as weak tea as it was. Jonathan Haidt tweeted out about this. There are demands. Remember, the price point here is about $55,000 a year, Sarah Lawrence. Demands under the categories of housing accommodations and accessibility, food security and accessibility, resources for first-generation and low-income students, support for international students, demands of faculty, staff, funding, indigenous land acknowledgement. Going back to their first category, housing accommodations and accessibility. All campus laundry rooms are to supply laundry detergent and softener
Oh, my gosh.
on a consistent basis for all students, faculty, and staff.
We are raising babies.
Jonathan Haidt tweeted out about that. If you want to dispute the narrative that students are overprotected at elite liberal arts colleges such as Sarah Lawrence, you probably should not put a demand for unlimited free fabric softener in your third demand out of 90.
I don't even use fabric softener. It's too expensive.
Oh, my goodness. Of course, it's not, including the elite liberal arts colleges, ostensibly, would be Yale. And so I was drawn to this piece that we talked about last week. I thought I could be a Christian and a constitutionalist at Yale Law School. I was wrong. The author of that piece is Aaron Haviland, who, by the way, graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy.
Nice.
He served in the Marine Corps. and managed to get his way through Yale Law School. He joins us now. Aaron, thanks so much for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I'm happy to be here with you.
So, what sport did you pretend to play to get into Yale Law School?
Soccer, sailing, or lacrosse?
I think it was curling.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Curling.
Yeah.
Claimed some Canadian background and, went from there.
Yeah, there you go.
Picture by the rock.
Well, give us the sort of the summary of your piece and your time at Yale Law School, what you thought going in and what you think coming out.
So I came to Yale Law School in the fall leading up to the 2016 election, which was an interesting time, but it had a very different feel to the campus because back then everyone thought that Hillary Clinton, who was also a graduate of Yale Law School, that she was going to win. Liberals were going to take the Supreme Court. So, the conservatives and libertarians on campus were just kind of, they're just kind of cute off in the corner with their pocket constitutions, how quaint, and they're no real threat. And then the 2016 election happened, and everyone's world was just rocked. I mean, the day I had class the morning after the 2016 election, and it was like the day after 9/11 for a lot of these people, if you can believe it. They were just shell-shocked. And then it turned into this anger, and they started getting involved in projects to sue the federal government. But when you think about it, the balance of the court hadn't changed yet. And then over this summer, when Justice Kennedy announced his retirement and Justice Kavanaugh was nominated, that was just a switch, and the campus has never been the same. When I came here, I knew I was going to be in the intellectual minority, and I thought, I've got to learn how to defend these positions, and the best way to do it is to argue against people who disagree with me. If somebody presents a good argument, there's a chance on some issues I might change my mind if it's good enough, and I think that's a good thing, to be exposed to the other side. But to do that, there has to be an element of good faith. So anyway, with this most recent incident, I'm in my school's chapter of the Federalist Society, and we invited a lawyer from Alliance Defending Freedom, ADF, which is the Christian legal group that argued at Masterpiece Cake Shop. They've won numerous Supreme Court cases. And you would think that for a lot of progressives at Yale Law School, they would want to listen to and learn from the side that has been beating them for a while. And we encourage people to come to the talk and ask tough questions and engage in civil discourse is what we always hope for. But within 24 hours of sending out an email about this event, we had almost every student group on campus condemn us. And not just condemn us, they called for a boycott of the event. They said that students who supported ADF's position should no longer be admitted to Yale Law School, that they should no longer receive school funding to do conservative public interest projects. And in the end, the event happened 2 days later, and there was an administrator there from the law school to make sure there were no disruptions. The only real disruption was somebody came in and stole our leftovers while the talk was still going on, and gave us the middle finger on the way out the door. And there were some rainbow posters in the front door and protests in other rooms. So I don't know that it's not the usual kind of campus insanity that you see, but I think it reveals a much deeper problem, which is cyberbullying. That there were a lot of emails thrown around. Somebody threw up the list of names of the Federalist Society board, which is already publicly available information. But it was the low point of this name and shame culture that we've all lived through at Yale Law School, and it's gotten really bad this last year. And so I had friends who cried, who didn't feel safe on campus. And I went to the Naval Academy, not exactly an institution known for coddling its students. So,
Exactly.
I'm fine. I can handle this stuff.
There's no crying at the Naval Academy.
Yeah, no.
Well, was there ever
not,
was there ever a point in time with this, intense hostility towards Christians that you thought, you know what, I'm out of here, I'm going to transfer?
Well, that was actually my 1L year in the lead up to the election, and then shortly thereafter. And then I thought to myself, if I do this, they're going to win. and I just didn't want that to happen. So no matter how bad it is, they're just going to stick through and suck it up. And looking back on it, I have no regrets about going to Yale Law School. And in fact, we're going to have an admitted students weekend in a couple weeks. I'm going to tell everyone that they should go to Yale Law School still, because they're going to make some good friends. It's going to be a tight-knit group because it's shared adversity. There are great professors here who really do believe in civil discourse. You're going to have tremendous professional opportunities. And I think you come out stronger on the other end. You just need to be aware that you are going to get bullied by your peers for 3 years, and just be prepared for that.
Well, right, or you're not going to get bullied because you're going to stand up to them. But the interesting thing, though, the point that you make, the thing that's chilling about it is not the temper tantrum, campus politics. It's that those individuals you just mentioned, professional opportunities. Those individuals graduating from Yale Law School are going to be at blue chip firms. They're going to be on courts. They're going to have outsized influence in civil society. And if they can't handle, particularly officers of the court or aspiring officers of the court, can't handle somebody making an argument that they're disinclined to agree with, being allowed to make it, well, golly, that's a problem. I don't know how much you learned about the U.S. Constitution in Yale Law School, or how much they care about it, even more to the point.
Yeah. Well, I was really disturbed by this last summer when a quarter of my classmates signed a petition saying that people will die because Justice Kavanaugh was nominated to the court. I mean, that's insane. If I put my name to a letter like that, I would wear a paper bag over my head for the rest of my career. It's the level of discourse is just so down in the gutter and over the top. Some of the folks coming to Yale Law School, they want to be activists, and they don't really want to be officers of the court. I was especially disturbed by the number of people who, in the Kavanaugh controversy, just didn't seem to care about the truth. They just believe that he did it, and even if he didn't, it probably happened, and we should ruin this man's life based on an accusation without evidence. So, I mean, for a law school that is supposed to believe in civil liberties and basic presumption of innocence in all things throughout our society, I found that to be really disturbing. He
is Aaron Haviland. He's a Yale Law School graduate and also served in the Marine Corps, graduate from the Naval Academy. He's done quite a bit. And the piece you should check out, his column at thefederalist.com. I thought I could be a Christian and constitutionalist at Yale Law School. I was wrong. Aaron, thanks for joining us, and good luck with your legal career.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.